In this video, we're going to discuss bookmarks. We're going to talk about how to create them and manage them, apply, remove, filter, and then bookmarks in multi-case mode. Remember, bookmarks are a little bit different than the other types of tagging mechanisms in that with a label or an issue, you're adding the tag to the object. With a bookmark, you're adding the object to the bookmark, and that ends up having a number of significant effects. But it's just key to remember that as sort of an underlying principle because it helps you understand the differences between bookmarks and the other tags. Nonetheless, let's hop into the tool and play around. Okay, bookmarks has its own widget, the bookmark widget. For it to be of value, you have to load a case. Let's load our link 7 case. I don't think there are any bookmarks in this case, at least none yet, but we'll check. That might not be correct. Oftentimes my memory fails me on those type of things. Let's see. No, great. So there are, so when it opens up like this. Actually, let me close the grid. You can see the case. So if we opened up in multi-case mode, there will be multiple widgets here. Case folders. Then it opens up the underlying bookmark folders. You should have a shared one. You should have one for the administrator, and then you should have one for every user that has access to the case. As the administrator, I can, of course, create a bookmark under any of these, but generally, as a user, you're going to have access to just yours and the shared one. So let's start with the shared one. Oh, actually, let me point out one other thing. When you open up the bookmark widget, it will pull in the viewer widget and place it here in the bottom. This is to replicate the way FTK works a little bit. If you don't want this, you can just open up the bookmark, the viewer widget independently, and it will pull the viewer widget capabilities, if you will, back, leaving you with a bookmark that doesn't have a viewer in it. But you can always just minimize it as well if you're not interested in viewing the documents. So let's go ahead and add a bookmark. To do that, we click on the parent node we want. We know that parent node is selected because it shows here. And then we just right-click on it and we do create. It will always refresh on you, but it should bring you back to that node. Occasionally, depending on the system and your networking and the timing and stuff, if it brings you back, but you don't see this node here, then it's not selected. So just make sure you come and you click back on the node you care about, and then you're in good position. So we can go ahead and give this a name. We'll call this demo bookmark, and we can give it and we can give it a begin date, end date, and we can also give it a comment. This is our very first bookmark, and we can just go ahead and save it. Now that bookmark has officially been saved back to the database, and it should have our comment in it. So if we click off and then we click back on, there we go. This is our very first bookmark. And we can create sub bookmarks to that if we want, again, by right-clicking and then just doing a sub bookmark. Let's go ahead and actually do that. And then I'll show you how to delete. So again, we make sure our new node is right there, and we're going to call this delete. And let's give it a begin date and an end date just for fun. Since it's doomed anyway, we're deleting it anyway. Just go ahead and save it. And so now we can go back to our bookmark, and we can see this is our very first bookmark right there as we left it. And then if we click in this sub one, here is it. It's got the date and everything we just did with it. And we can go ahead and delete that if we want. Right-click again and delete. And that will remove that, and it's gone. Okay, So now let's talk about adding objects to bookmarks, because that's really the reason you have bookmarks. You can add objects to bookmarks in one of two ways. You can either do it through this option, which is actually my personal favorite, or actually there are one of three ways, or you can do it directly with the bookmark widget open. So if I just click on this object and I have my correct bookmark selected, and then I go click add, it will add that bookmark to my object. And then if I go here, I can go ahead and add a comment. Object comment and save that. And then my comment should be saved, and good. That's what we wanted. Um, so let's add an object another way. Let's go ahead and click here, and then let's come up here to our bookmark. And if this wasn't already selected, it's already selected because we added one here, and it's just tracking that. But if it wasn't already selected, we could just select it, and then we come ahead here and do apply bookmark. And we click apply bookmark, and you can see that object got added, and this one was the one we added before, and it's got our comment, and this one was the one we just added. All right, we can also remove an object if we want. We can go ahead and click here and remove that object, and then it's gone. And we can add a whole bunch of objects if we wanted to, just because we don't necessarily have to select one if we just had a filter applied. Let's go ahead and do federal. And we'll go ahead, and once that search renders, there are 213 items, we can go ahead and add that. And it will say, well, you can read it right here. No items checked, so bookmarking all objects in the grid, is that correct? And we say yes in this case, but it always gives you that warning. And then here's all those bookmarks added. In addition to adding objects and providing comments to those objects, you can also add snippets. So let's do that. And what do I mean by snippets? I mean text from documents. Oops, excuse me. Just do like this. Having trouble here. Forgive me. See if we got it right this time. There we go. And here are our snippets. And to get a snippet, we need to go into the viewer. So let's find a document. Hopefully some of these are good documents. I'm going to open up my viewer here. There, we got some text here. That's good enough. This seems to have resized again on us. So let's go do this. And we're just going to go ahead and select some text. We're going to copy. We're going to paste it in here. We'll type a comment, whatever, and we go ahead and save it. And boom, there is it's saved here, and we can do another one, and so on and so forth, and add those to our bookmark, and ultimately allow us to report on them as part of a bookmark report. Okay, so let's review what we've discussed so far. We've talked about creating bookmarks, the different types of bookmarks, deleting bookmarks, adding objects, removing objects, and adding snippets. That's generically all there really is to bookmarks. And again, we showed you how you could do it here. So let me show you one more thing about the options up here. This also allows us to create a bookmark. If we click here, it asks us, hey, what's the parent you want? You want to do it under shared or shared demo bookmark, or if you want to do it under a private one, you could do administrator or access data. Normally, if you click private, you'd only be offered your user, but since I'm the administrator, I get both. And then I can say drop down demo and comment, and click enter, and that should go ahead and add that drop-down demo to the administrator. Now, the only thing that's left really that's critical to show you here is the multi-case bookmarking mode and the gotchas that can result from that. So let's just go ahead and open up a different case here. And we'll open up predictive coding. I believe this case already, oh shoot, I should not have done that. I wanted to open both cases. So let me go fix that. Okay, now this is important. It asks us if we want to open up a parent case. In this case, we're going to say yes. And we're going to click enter. And that should bring us up all three cases here. So we should get the bookmarks for the link case, the multi-case, as well as the predictive case. And we can see that's exactly what we've gotten here. We've got link, multi-case, and predictive. Now, the point I'm trying to make here, the sticky trick here, the thing to know is bookmarks, because objects get added to bookmarks, bookmarks are case specific. So the link case can only take objects from the link bookmark, excuse me, or any bookmarks under the link bookmark can only take objects from the link case. So let's show that. This is the drop-down bookmark we created. We can see it has no objects here. Let's add object ID 2038, and that's in case 39. And let's scroll down to another case. Here's another case, 2063, and we'll add this object. And we're going to go ahead and just add objects now. Now you can see, look, objects not in bookmarks case excluded, and only this object, 2003, was added to the case. That's because this object was from the wrong case. And that will happen if I went to the predictive coding case as well. But that is why the whole concept, or one of the reasons why the whole concept of parent cases even exists. Let's go ahead and create a bookmark underneath the shared of the multi-case, and we'll call this multi-demo, whatever, doesn't matter. Okay, now we've created a bookmark in the multi-case, and this is our parent case again, remember. And we're going to go ahead and repeat that same operation with this 2038 and this case object 2003. Let's go ahead and do that. And you can see, voila, the difference here is both objects got added to the bookmark. We didn't get any error, and now we have them in the single bookmark. And that is just specific. That is why there is this concept of parent cases. So you can bookmark objects from multiple cases. I think those are all the key concepts I wanted to explain. Actually, let me show you one other thing that's quite important, throw people for a little bit of a loop. Let's go ahead and just log back in just to our link case. And this is the very nature of bookmarks. Bookmarks are, in fact, objects. When you create a bookmark, it creates a bookmark object in your case. So let's go ahead and open our filter. Let me remove these default filters because I'm not going to be able to show you the bookmarks when I have this filter applied. All right, now let's go to General, Object Types, and let's do Case Organizer Types. I actually think if you click down here, and you can see bookmarks. Let's click on that. Let me remove any of these other filters. Maybe these other filters are causing us issue. There you go. All right, perfect. So it looks like it was some of those filters, but in any event, we now have the two objects that represent our two bookmarks. There are actually columns associated with these objects. If we wanted to come into here and look at our column options, remove all these, and then go into bookmarks, select these and apply. Then to the extent that we applied any of this data, you can see bookmark comment there, created by the 1000 users, the administrator. These don't have any begin or end date. Anyway, you can see all these values, and you can play around with it and see how it affects the columns. But that's it. That's all I wanted to show you about bookmarks. I think that's a good primer for you, and you can start to play around and get familiar with them. There are, of course, bookmark reports, but those are explained more in the reporting widget, so I won't discuss them here. Thank you for your time.